When I was in Perth, I created a number of videos looking into how bike paths or shared paths are built in that part of the world. Some might say I created too many, but it got me thinking about the wide disparities we experience every day with path quality. By that, I mean comfort. Is riding on a particular stretch of path pleasant, or is it a brutally rough experience? This is something that Canada Bay Council must have thought about as well, because back in March 2021, they engaged some consultants to survey all footpaths in the area. I assume this was part of the Pedestrian Access and Mobility Plan. Now, don't get me started on the lack of integration with the bike plan, otherwise this video will go on all day. But do we really need all that fancy electronic kit to determine whether an existing path is any good or not? In my experience, the answer is no. I have a trunk bag on one of my bikes, and it is an excellent indicator of path quality. If I hear a lot of loud rattling coming from behind me, then the path surface is pretty ordinary. If I hear no noise, then the path surface is pretty good. If I hear a loud crash, it means I've smashed into a seam or raised lip and probably just done a pinch flat. Doesn't get much simpler than that. I put this to the test this week by riding around both sides of the river around Silverwater Bridge. The path on the northern side of the river is concrete and the southern side is asphalt. Both paths are wide and safe and quite suitable for families and riders of all abilities, although getting across the bridge is not the best. The northern path was built in two different eras. The section through George Kendall Riverside Park has been there for ages, but the next section along the waterfront was built only a few years ago when the area was developed for housing. The whole lot is concrete, and I assume that's what Parramatta Council prefers to use. Let's cut to the chase. Is the path surface any good? My answer is no. My trunk bag crash-o-meter told me that it's pretty rough from one end to the other. There's two problems. The slabs never line up properly with each other when they're laid, and the slabs then sink, twist or rise over time, and they get out of alignment with each other. That means the joints get progressively worse until council either has to build small asphalt ramps at each joint, or dig the slabs up, redo the foundations and lay fresh concrete. This of course is a problem with concrete roads as well. I used to drive out to Goulburn on a regular basis years ago, and large sections of the Hume Highway were being dug up and renewed because the slabs had shifted and the ride quality was terrible. Residents of Lyons Road in Five Dock recently had to put up with a similar exercise, which involved a great deal of noisy night work to either jackhammer the old slabs out or grind them down to an even consistency. The southern side of the river is a different story. Down there, asphalt is the material of choice, and I have to say, I think it's the better choice. My only niggle after a long spell in Perth is that I reckon they should have used red asphalt instead of black asphalt, but hey, let's not quibble over that. The difference in ride quality is immediately apparent. No two ways about it. It's just better. Yes, the asphalt has cracked or deformed or rippled in some places, but the cracks have been filled and the ripples are nowhere near as bad as some in the misaligned concrete joints on the northern side. There's another difference that I don't think the path designers think about much, and that is the visibility of pavement markings on the two surfaces. A white pavement marking on black asphalt, or red asphalt, really stands out because of the huge difference in contrast. It's literally the contrast between black and white. Concrete is another matter. When you put white markings onto light grey concrete, they can be nearly invisible unless the light is just right. Pavement markings fade with age and weathering, so after a while, it's damn near impossible to pick them out against a grey background. It's about as sensible as having a stop sign with a red background and doing the lettering in burgundy. There's a reason why we have white lettering on a red background, and putting white warning signs on a light grey background is really pretty thoughtless and futile. It's like it's been done because the policies or the standards say that's how it has to be done, rather than because it's actually useful or informative. Now, this difference in path quality is something that you might not notice because you're riding a bike with suspension or fat tyres or both. But now that I've made you think about it, Do you think you'll notice it in future? Is this something that you've noticed already? Do you choose where to ride based on the quality of the path surfaces along the way? Do you think we can get councils to start thinking about path surface quality when building bike infrastructure? Do you think we can get any of the decision makers within councils to actually ride on their own paths to see if they're any good or not? Let me know in the comments.